Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I wanted to show you one of my favorite orchids, of all time. I wasn't even going to film this guy today. I was actually filming a Hoya video, and this plant here, this Zygopetalum macchiae, has been overpowering me with his scent. It is just one of the best smelling orchids, and it is simply just a must-have orchid for any collection as long as you can keep them a little bit cool. So this plant this winter has done extremely well for me. It has got 3 flower spikes out. There's another one hanging down below it, and it's actually got another flower spike way over there. And I didn't bother to stake any of these guys this year, but let me just back you up a little bit. You can see the size of the plant. It's a fairly big plant, just like a cymbidium almost. From there to there is like an arm span basically. It's got a 2.5 foot sort of span to it, and I love this plant because I've made a few different pots of it as well. So I have it around the greenhouse, but it's all from this exact plant here, and it just does super well. So I want to give you a bit of care tips for it, and tell you that you have to get one because these things smell just amazing, absolutely amazing. They smell kind of like hyacinths. But yeah, so care for these guys. One of the biggest things that everybody always asks is how to keep the leaves clean. They get really spotty really easily. Zygopetalums have very, very tender leaves. So you can see a few spots on mine. This leaf here has got quite a few spots on it. And honestly, it looks like some kind of bacterial thing to me, but They say, and it is true, if you can keep it really shaded, out of direct sun, and keep water off the leaves, these little black spots tend to not be such a problem. All the new growth comes out very clean, but it's just with age, they deteriorate. So I try to keep it shaded. If I put this in direct sun, that thing would have black blotches all over the leaves. So it's down on the ground. It lives basically like a masdevallia for me. This winter it was under lights, just under a 4-foot fluorescent shop light with cool white bulbs in, so nothing special, as well as it got ambient light, of course. So let me just move you back in so we can have a look at this flower again, now that we've sort of talked about the leaves. And as for other care, I rewater. It's in a pretty big pot, so I rewater after it seems to be dry, but I know that the core of the pot is still wet, so I'm not too worried if it seems dry, because it likely isn't dry. And so I never let it dry out like Cattleyas though. And it's more like a cymbidium in the care for the roots. It is a terrestrial orchid, so it doesn't like to be totally bone dry. It's not going to like to be mounted or anything like that. I have it in a medium coarse bark mix. There's not a ton of moss in there, but like I say, it's a fairly big pot, so I don't need that, because with an 8 or 10 inch pot, the core can be dangerously wet if you're not aware that the core is going to be wet. So let it dry out before you rewater it if you have a big pot. Otherwise, it just likes to be evenly moist if you have a small pot. Just rewater just before it starts to dry out. And you know, if you don't rewater before it starts to dry out, that's okay too. My little back bulb divisions and everything like that have gone bone dry many times, and it just seems to be really, really hardy for me, so I don't worry too much about it. The biggest thing is keeping it cool too. It likes cool night temperatures. It's on the cool side of the greenhouse and on the floor in the cool side of the greenhouse, so it likely experiences temperatures down to about 10 Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit, maybe even a little lower because it's down low, right? Heat rises, so even on the cool side of my greenhouse, the top shelf is warmer than the bottom shelf. What else can I tell you? In the summertime, it gets tucked way in the back of the cool side of the greenhouse, and I try to keep it out of all sun. It basically disappears for the summertime into a back corner to avoid any real direct sunlight, and it grows really well. I usually can get flowering out of this guy 2 times a year, and this is, although there's 3 spikes on it now, it did bloom for me once this winter as well, so technically it had 4 spikes this year and has done really good. 4 spikes in 2016, I mean. So it's done really good for me. But anyway, I hope you like this video. We're just going to keep it at 5 minutes. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh man, that just smells so good. Bye guys.